Hello and welcome back to ESBR Boxing. I'm delighted to be joined by Gregory Doyle tonight on the back of arguably what will be the biggest news of the year. Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk is off, and it's official as Tyson Fury has suffered a cut. Greg, thank you so much for joining me tonight. First off, what were your initial thoughts when you seen the fight was cancelled?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I hate to be that kind of told you so guy, but honestly, I just knew it was a matter of time. I've never fancied the fight to happen from the beginning. I know some other guys in the group, like PK, they said the same thing. It just seems like it's a fight that is too high risk, low reward,
Mm.
to happen. So, and I know the Saudis and everything are involved now, but I can't say I'm surprised on.
Yeah, I think that's more than fair. There's been a lot of debate over whether the fight will actually happen. Even when we get the posters and the official videos, it's with Tyson Fury especially. I think Usyk's as game as anything, and unless it was a serious injury, I think even a 60% fit Usyk, we'd still see him in there on fight night. As you sort of alluded to there, Greg, this is something that you expected. Um, was it sort of how do you see the convenience of this announcement? We've seen the rumors Jaya Pattaya was bashing Fury up, and then they used his team, well, Pataya's team, sorry, said it was just time to leave and go on his own camp. Do you think there's any substance in Tyson Fury was potentially struggling in sparring?
Yes, yes. I said again, I'd hate to be that guy that says I told you so, but I said when I found out that Gio Pataya was a sparring partner, I thought that boy's going to give Tyson Fury fits. Because you think of a big lump of a heavyweight, if they're not on form or they're not at real fight fitness as of yet, and you've got someone like Gio Pataya, who's a big enough boy darting about in front of you, changing angles, hitting you with shots from everywhere. I just I thought on the lead up to that, I thought Opatai would give him a bit of a hard time. And although some sources have said it's true, some have denied it, I definitely think that there's some truth to that.
Yeah, I think it's intriguing as well. Like you say, when I was similar when they said Opetaya was coming in because it's well known that Opetaya wants to tie up all the cruiserweight belts and has openly said he wants to go up to heavyweight. So for
Yeah,
me, I found it intriguing because that would be more useful for Opetaya. He'd get to size up the king of the division, the WBC champ. Um, and then that would give him an indication of how he can win the belts, what he needs to do and the preparation. So I did find that one interesting myself. In terms of this, without trying to slander Tyson Fury too much, do you think how do you think this cut come about? Because it's on the eye that obviously he got that horrible cut against with Otto Berlin. Do you think it's almost, there's people coming out and saying on social media, it's almost, has he opened it up himself? Has he taken damage on purpose? Do you think it is genuinely a freak cut, or is there any substance in rumors we're seeing online?
it's very difficult to answer because you have to bear in mind that Tyson Fury fought Deontay Wilder three times, and he fought Wilder very quickly on his comeback. So I mean, there is a brave guy in there. But what I do think is if Tyson Fury is feeling low or if he's not firing all cylinders, I think he's one of these guys who will throw the toys out of the pram. And I think he'll very quickly just say, I'm not doing it. So let's be honest here. Tyson Fury, with the greatest of respect, I mean, he was diagnosed with bipolar, wasn't he? So he's going to have certain mood changes and things. So are you going to tell me that that can't happen through a camp? That there's some days he has that's really good, and there's some days he has that's really poor. It's just part of that condition as well, as we know. So it's difficult to say. Maybe honestly, when I don't know, nothing would surprise me. But what I will say, in my overall opinion, is I think that Tyson Fury doesn't want the Alexander Usyk fight.
Yeah, I think it's more than fair. The cut's opened up and anything can happen with a cut, but I think the fact it's taken so long for it to open up after such a bad cut previously, it does raise questions. One thing you
Yeah,
mentioned there, that I did sort of want to finish on, you mentioned obviously about if Tyson Fury is feeling low. Now, I pointed out to the group and I've pointed out to many people that I was worried with how quiet Tyson Fury has been. Now, I was more worried in terms of what Tyson Fury will see on the night and his performance levels, not necessarily that the fight wouldn't take place. Do you think with Fury obviously being so quiet, which is completely unlike himself, that has potentially played a part in the reason obviously this freak cut has happened and the fight's now off?
Um, it's so possible, and it is really difficult to answer because trying to think inside the mind of Tyson Fury, and that's like jumping into, with the greatest of respect, probably jumping into a kid's birthday party and trying to hear 100 kids at the same time. You just don't know, do you? So yeah, it's intriguing. I do think we may be forced into seeing the fight. I think public pressure could mean that we need to see the fight. But the longer that it's getting drawn out, the older Oleksandr Usyk is getting. I mean, Tyson Fury's 33 as well, Owen, but Oleksandr Usyk is really like pushing on with his age now. So yeah, I just hope that if we see it, it's not too late.
And then obviously just to finally finish on, we'll finish on one for Usyk. It looks like it's going to be the Filip Hrgović fight in Saudi still. What do you make of Hrgović as an opponent? Because obviously I believe he's number one with the IBF, and he's looking at sort of mandatory status. So do you see that as a worthy sort of extremely short notice opponent for a world title fight?
Yeah, Hrgovic's a good fighter. I think if you let Filip Hrgovic stand in front of you, he'll tally off, and he's in danger of hurting and stopping you. What really looks to upset Filip Hrgovic's movement in front of him. So I think Usyk is the wrong opponent for him in that respect. But yeah, I think that's a good fight. It's a fight I've got a lot of interest in. Hrgovic hasn't technically been beat. He had the close fight with Zhang. Yeah, I'm up for that fight one, but I think it's an Usyk win.
Yeah, I do have to agree. I think Hrgović is in a sense, I think he's lucky to be in the position he's in. I personally felt he lost that Zhang fight. And that's something that when Hrgović is in these huge fights, it will always come back to that night and sort of should his progress have been sort of not necessarily derailed, but pushed back ever so slightly. But yeah, I think 2 weeks notice to get someone out to Saudi to fight such an awkward and incredible fighter is brave from Hrgovic's perspective. I think to prepare for someone like Usyk who's going to tie you up in knots and come in at weird angles is very impressive and is it shouldn't be sort of it should be spoken upon how brave in a sense Filip Hrgović is being. But Greg, thank you so much for joining me tonight on the back of shock news for some, but an expected sort of announcement for others. Let us know what you think in the comments below, guys. Do you think it was just a cut that happened? It was just a freak, could have been a head clash, could have been a punch. It could have taken some time, but the old cut has opened back up. Let us know down below in the comments. Check out all our content from this week ahead of this weekend's boxing action. Like, comment, subscribe, and once again, Greg, thank you for joining me tonight.
Thanks, Owen.